Friends, another new video of Bharat Puran has been uploaded today. And to watch more fun and entertaining videos like this, subscribe to Fun Toonsy right away. Also press the bell icon.
Samudra Manthan, the churning of the ocean. Long before balance came to the universe, when the first light of creation had not yet settled, when time itself had not fully chosen its path, the three realms, heaven, earth, and the netherworld, were bound together by an invisible thread. That thread was called equilibrium. Gods and asuras, both were powerful, both were necessary. But the greatest enemy of balance is ego. And when ego is born, downfall becomes inevitable. The celestial city of Amaravati overflowed with splendor. Golden palaces, the dance of apsaras, the music of Gandharvas, together forming a kingdom of eternal celebration. Ruling over it all was Devaraja Indra. His power was unmatched, his victories countless, and his pride boundless. One day, the great sage Durvasa arrived at the celestial court. His presence itself was like a spark of fire, for his wrath was terrifying and his blessings invaluable. To honor the king of the gods, he offered Indra a divine garland, each flower infused with the power of deep penance. But Indra had begun to see himself as superior even to the gods. With indifference, he placed the garland upon Airavata's trunk. The white elephant shook its head uncomfortably, and in an instant the garland fell to the ground, the sacred flowers crushed beneath its feet. Fire blazed in Durvasa's eyes.
Ego has blinded you, Indra. The prosperity you have disrespected shall abandon you forever. From this moment onward, the three worlds shall become bereft of fortune.
With the curse spoken, the sage vanished, and in that very moment, the radiance of heaven dimmed, as if snuffed out in a single breath. The curse took effect instantly. The flowers of heaven dried up, the rivers lost their vitality, and weariness spread across the faces of the gods. Goddess Lakshmi, the embodiment of prosperity and balance, silently disappeared. No one knew where she had gone. Only a strange light sinking deep into the depths of the ocean of milk. Sensing the gods' weakness, the Asura seized their chance. They were led by the mighty King Bali, righteous yet unyielding. His armies stormed the heavens. A war was fought, but this time the gods were defeated. Amaravati fell. Defeated, weary, and broken in spirit, the gods sought their final refuge with the one who preserves the balance of creation, Lord Vishnu. Upon the tranquil waters of the ocean of milk, resting on Ananta Shesha, lay Lord Vishnu. His face bore eternal serenity, as if he knew all things, past, present, and future. The gods recounted everything in trembling voices. Vishnu opened his eyes and smiled gently.
The problem was born of ego, and its solution will come through cooperation.
The gods were stunned. Vishnu continued.
To obtain the nectar of immortality, the ocean of milk must be churned. But this task cannot be accomplished by you alone. You must seek the help of the Asuras.
Joining hands with their enemies felt like humiliation to the gods, but there was no other path. And so, gods and Asuras entered into a temporary alliance. There was no way forward without diplomacy. The gods joined hands with their enemies. Mount Mandara became the churning rod, and Vasuki the rope. Gods on one side, Asuras on the other. The pulling began. But disaster struck. The mountain began to sink. The ocean was bottomless. Once again, Vishnu stepped forward. He assumed the Kurma avatar, a gigantic tortoise. Mount Mandara was placed upon his back. The churning resumed, with renewed force.
first outcome of the churning emerged. Halalala, the deadly poison. So lethal that its fumes left gods and asuras choking alike. Creation stood on the brink of annihilation. All fled in terror. All but one. Mahadeva Shiva stepped forward. From deep meditation on Mount Kailasa, Shiva opened his eyes. Without hesitation, he drank the poison. Parvati rushed forward and held his throat tight, preventing the poison from descending further. His neck turned blue. From that day onward, he became known as Neelkant, the blue-throated one. After the poison was contained, the churning resumed. This time, wonders emerged one by one. Kamadhenu, Airavata, the Parijata tree, the Apsaras, the Kaustuba jewel. Countless treasures rose from the depths, but they were only the beginning. At last appeared Dhanvantari, holding a golden vessel, filled with Amrita, the nectar of immortality. The moment the nectar emerged, the alliance shattered. The Asuras seized the Amrita. Time stood still. From radiant light appeared a woman of incomparable beauty, Mohini. She was Vishnu himself, but in a form so enchanting that the Asuras lost all reason. Mohini promised to distribute the nectar equally, but through divine cunning, she gave it only to the gods. The Asura Rahu managed to drink the nectar in disguise. But the sun and moon recognized him. Rahu deceived, but the universe saw all. The Sudarshan chakra severed his body. His head became immortal, rising as a celestial entity. With the nectar, the gods regained their strength. The Asuras were defeated. At that very moment, Goddess Lakshmi emerged from the ocean of milk. She chose Lord Vishnu as her consort. Balance returned to all three worlds. Shiva returned to meditation. The ocean grew calm. The stars stood still. Samudra Manthan was not merely a battle between gods and demons. It teaches us. Ego invites destruction. Sacrifice preserves creation. Even enemies must sometimes cooperate. And only by churning chaos does balance come into being. This story still reminds us. Creation survives through wisdom, sacrifice, and the strength of pulling together.
So, bye bye. See you again in the next video.